don't know me, I'm a palm reader, been doing it since I was 10. Is there anybody here that's had a reading with me? There's plenty of you. Okay. I love what I do, and not everybody gets to say they love what they do. And I've been doing it for so long that it's second nature, and my husband said, can't you talk about anything else? Why do you always have to, you guys have to come over here. Why do you always talk about palm reading? Well, I meet so many interesting people that I have to tell them at dinner, whenever we're driving in the car, I start in on, you wouldn't believe what I saw. So this couple has a baby and they have to go pick her up, and this is a soulmate couple, and I haven't even talked about soulmates yet, but I want you to just look at them. They're both entertainers and they're going to make a lot of money, and by the time she's 40, which is about what, 6 or 7 or 8 years or whatever it is.
I'm 28.
She's 28. It's a long time for me. She's going to make $1 million because her hand has this big giant M on it, and the M I have is for 1.2 million and hers is bigger. So your lines on the hand come there when you're born, and then you have experiences and things happen and they change and meander and move around, and this is, if you look at them, they're pretty evenly matched. You can see that. So thank you. You can go get your baby. Then we have another couple up here who's going to come up for a minute. We have Jill and Phil. So come up here for a second. And so this is another soulmate couple, and they're going to do something that's a surprise in a little while, not right this minute, but I wanted you to look at this. So she's an entertainer, and would you say?
Yes,
Yes, she sings and she creates and she writes music and all that. And Phil's regular. He doesn't do that, but he's her 100%. He's her 100% cheerleader, and that's what a soulmate is. They're in your corner and they go, "I'm here for you, babe. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be right here for you, and we'll do it together." And that's what everybody wants. We just got to chill, and so that's what a soulmate is. So you can sit down until you get to do your thing. So I start out usually by reading a couple things because I have some interesting stuff here. So first of all, there's 7 ways to attract a soulmate to you. And some of the people in this room have a soulmate and some wish they did and they're seeking. Now we have another couple I want to come up back there. Yep, you too. So I read this girl a few years ago and she learned palmistry from me in a class. And when she sat down today, I said, something's changed. Come on over here. Something isn't the same as it used to be. What's going on? And she said, oh, I don't know. And I said, I think you reinvented yourself. She said, well, I'm happy, and I have somebody in my life, 3 years. And so this is a soulmate couple. So there's couples and couples. Now my soulmate, I'm 5'4" when I don't have heels on. He's 5'5", but he told me he's 5'7", so I believe that. But we look eye to eye when I talk to him, and I do his inseam, and we're both at 29, so I know he's 5'5". But I'm not going to fault him on it, and you don't fault him on how tall he is or who's shorter than him, right? So thank you. Okay, so I'm passing around my literature. Does everybody get one so far? Because we're going to work off of it. And I'm going to pass around the soulmate picture. This is my husband. Sunday we'll be celebrating 17 years, but we met 20 years ago, and he thinks we're married 20 because we had one date. He moved in, never left, and he stayed for 3 years. Then we got married. So when we had the first date, he said, I found you here. I'm never leaving. And I said, pardon me? I'm going through a divorce. What are you talking about? And he goes, well, I'll pay rent on your spare room. I'll stay 100 years. When you're ready, you'll let me know. And so he stayed 3 years. So he lived in Louisville, I lived in Littleton, and he said, I'll never see my house in Louisville again. I said, we can go visit. So that's what we did. We went to get his mail once a week. Okay, so we're together 17 years with the ring and the piece of paper, but we're really together 20.
406.
So I'm going to tell you the 7 ways to get a soulmate if you're looking for one. First, describe to yourself or say in your mind's eye, this is what I don't want, this is what I want. It's called a criteria list. We all have them. So some people want a tall guy. Some people want a guy that's college educated. Some people want somebody who gets their music or something, whatever it is. So you tell yourself, this is what I want. And if you want it bad enough, you can manifest it and make it happen. Okay. Then create your intention, but you have blocks. We all do. So you want to get rid of the blocks. And how you do that is you say to yourself, well, I've been stubborn and I wouldn't give in. I think I'll compromise and give in now. Now, we have somebody in the back of the room whose wife has a booth, so she can't be here, but he's here. So I'm going to call you up in a minute. So you might want to come towards the front. Okay, so then you align yourself with what you want, with gratitude. You all heard about The Secret. You know about gratitude. So you say, I'm thankful for what I have, but now I want. And you say what you want. So I was going through a divorce. I was really miserable. And I said, I don't want to ever get married again. I just want to have a partner in my life. And I joined a Jewish singles bowling league. And that's where I met him on the first night. I sat on his lap, I stole his baseball hat, I did things I never did even as a teenager, but the reason is my little kid inside got out and started playing, and he liked that energy. Now I'm 9 years older than him. When you see the picture coming around, you can't tell. But it doesn't matter because we're both 30 in our head and we think we're 30 years old. And so we laugh at the same jokes. We joke about the same things. I hate and love the same food he does. We like the same music. Now he's a baby boomer over here. He's 64. I'm 73. My kid's right here. He's 50. They're both baby boomers. I'm not. But we're in the same place. So he goes, God, I can't believe it. You're so young acting. And I said, well, I'm a little peppy. And nobody would know my age if I didn't tell him. But that's just because I aligned myself with him and I decided to be where he was, and we're both 30. Then, to get unstuck, you have to have a relationship materialize. So first you get rid of the blocks and you manifest what you want, and then you have to go out, push yourself out the front door and go do things. So you have to take a class or volunteer or try something new or go to a book signing or join a volleyball league, or I don't care what it is. You can't stay home and think they're going to knock on the door and come and find you. You have to be out and about. So you have to use your emotions and go inside yourself for guidance. And you guide yourself. You say, I really want something now. I don't know what it is, but I'm missing something. And so that's it. So you have to trust your intuition and you just let go. So when you wake up every day, you have two choices. You can either go back to sleep or dream and manifest what you want. So every day I dream and I want different things. So I wanted a contract from Oprah and I dreamed it and I got it. So now I'm waiting this April. I'm supposed to get a $2,000 check. If I get it, I'm going to make a pilot, and then I'm going to take that, and if she likes it, I get 16 shows. So I wanted that for probably 10 years, but she didn't.
I know.
And now she has her own network, so there's a chance I might get it. So relationships are the technicolor of life. You know how a movie is technicolor? Well, so is your relationship. If it's blah, kind of not very, it doesn't have any life to it or any color, that isn't a good one. You need to liven it up somehow. So there's a book that I like to recommend. Gary Chapman wrote Love Languages, and I have it at home, and I read it every once in a while because it helps me get re-inspired. So when my husband comes home, my friend Joyce is sitting back there, and she knows that if I'm on the phone with her and he's coming in from work, I say, I'll talk to you later, I gotta go. And I hang up the phone no matter who it is, even if it's a client, because I run to the door and I hug him every single time when he comes home. He picks me clear up off the floor, and he goes, I feel like we're still on our honeymoon. And I say, well, I am. So that's why, because I pay a little attention at the end of the day, but I usually clean myself up a little bit, comb my hair, and get ready to see him too. So your love is in the palm of your hand. So anybody whose hand I read, I'm a romantic, I see love in everybody's hand. Now this is the surprise I had. Jill is a songwriter, besides she sings. And so Phil and Jill are going to come up here. And this is where the fun part is. So I'm going to get out of the way, and she's going to do something here. So go ahead and do your, get in the middle here. Okay. You're going to do what you did the last time. So she's going to tell you how she met him first.
Myrna had done a reading for me in January, and very specifically had said to me that the man that I would meet, that would be my soulmate, that would be with me for the rest of my life. I would find him on the side of the stage. So in my mind, because I'm a singer-songwriter, I automatically thought that I was going to be on that stage. I'm like, yes, I made it. And so, you know, time elapses, and it's the summertime. I went up to Conifer for the Conifer First Annual Music Festival, and as I was standing there, I was watching Poco on stage. I looked to the side of the stage, and there was just a half moon of chairs with Phil, his brother, and another couple. And as I glanced over, he was staring at me. And I looked at him and I thought, oh, he's so beautiful. I bet the minute he opens his mouth, it's done. So, but I thought, you know what, I'm not ever again going to do this where you go, I wish I would have, I wonder. I walked straight over there and sat down next to him and started to talk to him. And this was on August 4th. And 10 months later, we stood in the middle of a river on some rocks and we got married. And
So that's a soulmate couple. And I just hit the chills all up and down, look at that. You know?
Yes.
Because I predicted it and I told her where she'd meet him.
Exactly.
And I said, no, you're not on the stage. It isn't going to be you, even though she likes to go on the stage and she likes to do those things. I said, what's going to happen is you're going to see him. I thought it was Red Rocks. And I said, I think you might need to go to Red Rocks and look near the back of the stage. Well, she went to Conifer, which was up in the mountains too. And so they found each other. So now you know what you did.
And then the day that I met him when I got home, I didn't know if I'd ever see him again. And I felt really kind of stupid, but I sat down and wrote this song about him, not knowing if I'd ever see him again. And so I would love to share with you the first verse and chorus of that song. There's nothing like the mountains rain. Won't you walk a while with me? I want to hear you say my name as it falls through the rain. I don't have any answers with all I've seen. I only want what you want to give. I will wait for you. I will wait for you.
Okay, so that's a soulmate couple. That's when I brought them up here before and I said that. But the thing was, they did get together. And it was what I saw in her hand. And so I met Jill through her mother. And they both took a class in a little bookstore in Littleton for me. And then her mother said, I wish you'd fix her up. I don't know what's wrong with that girl, but she keeps on making friends with the wrong people. So I said, I'll take care of it. And so I gave her a little push out the door. And that's what that was, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So everybody has a piece of literature now with my picture on the front. Open it up. And inside there, you're going to see a hand. And keep on opening it until it's wide open. And you see a whole list of stuff all down the side. So I'm going to teach one thing here, and it's a soulmate mark, because that's what we're talking about. So this is a different hand, but somebody drew this for me. This is the mark that's a soulmate mark. Can you all see that? It looks like a pyramid, or it looks like a pillow, or a little round thing, and everybody doesn't have it. I don't have one. But the people who have that, you have to be able to take your baby finger from the other hand and fit it in the slot. And if it fits, that means you have a chance. So I've got somebody back there, and people, it's hard for me to get to him, but can you come up here? So this guy has a huge soulmate mark on his hand, and he's 30 years old, right? And I want you to, okay, they can't see it here, so you're gonna go show everybody. Just walk around, show that mark. So he has one about this long, and he's supposed to have a soulmate. So he says, I find women, I fall in love with them, but then they're a friend and it doesn't work out and I never get what I'm supposed to get. And I said, but you will. And he said, well, how do you know? And I said, I'll probably have to send you a wedding present. I said that to you too. And the reason is because I know when somebody finds the right one, if they're with them, you got to show every row. I told him I would do this because he's got a really good one, and it's really, you can see it. Now, I did somebody today that had a double, and that person isn't in here, I don't think.
That was me too.
You have who has a double? Anybody?
You said it was me also.
Oh, it's yours with, oh, he has two of them. Okay, so 1 in millions and millions of people have 2 soulmate marks right there, and I've only seen 5 in my life, and I'm on the 50,282nd hand, and I keep track of every one, so I know, and his was a double. So a double means if he missed one when he was in his 20s, he still has a chance to get it, the other one now. Well, soulmates mean that we've been here before, and we came back through reincarnation, and you find somebody that you were connected with before that you didn't get to finish your business with. So let's say it was Grandma and Grandpa, and Grandma dies, and Grandpa doesn't get to the hospital in time to say goodbye this time. It doesn't matter, because this time Grandma finds Grandpa and it works anyway. So I'm real thrilled with that, because that's important. And Walt, I need each one of my books, one of each 3. So I wrote a book on soulmates, because the average age of the person that I read is usually between 40 and 60, and they go, there's nobody out there, I can't find anybody. Everybody out there stinks, or there's nothing happening, or I don't know what's going on. But I do people 18 to 80, so it doesn't matter. But what you want is a like, not an opposite. So when likes attract, it's forever. Thank you. And so the first book I wrote was called May I See Your Hand. And when I teach classes, the requirement is everybody has to buy this one. And this book is real easy to learn from, because I'm a real easy teacher. It takes 2 hours, people catch it right away. So then I wrote this in 1 hour, and you can't write a book in 1 hour. So it was channeled, and I didn't even know that word those years. This was 1996, I'm on the cover of it. I don't look like that anymore, that was a long time ago. But the thing is, I wrote it, and then it took 100 hours to get it on the computer, but I wrote it longhand. Then I thought, since I see so many people on soulmates, I would write a book about soulmates. So this book cost $13, $12.95. And my publisher called me up and he said, you know, we have 900 authors in this place. I've never read a single book. I went in the restroom, sat down and read yours in 1 hour. Now I'm going out to find my soulmate. He was 57. So I said, oh, that's nice. So he said, well, I think you should charge $300 for the book. I said, why is that? And he said, because it's fabulous. I know what I need, what I want, and where I'm going. So I said, oh, he says, you jam-packed the first 17 pages of this book with enough information that I don't even have to read the rest of it, but I couldn't stand it. I had to find out. So he read all the 46 stories that are in here. And it starts with Irma Bombeck, if any of you ever heard of her. But the first index here, or the first table of contents, says mistakes not to make this time. So if you've been divorced, you know what you don't want. Then it says qualities to look for in a mate, and I give you 15. And I thought of more after I was done. Then it says red flags, because sometimes somebody tells you they're married or they're single and they're lying through their teeth, and you have to find that all out. Then, how do you recognize a soulmate? Will they stay forever? What do you need from each other? How do you react with each other? And the big one is, how do you accidentally on purpose find your soulmate? And then here is 46 of those stories. So this book has helped so many people that I have 3 scrapbooks that fat full of wedding invitations, and now I'm getting baby invitations and shower invitations, and I only honor the weddings. But I know, now they call me the matchmaker, because sometimes I put people together, and sometimes I don't, or I try and it doesn't work. And a guy will say, you gave me 5 names, I need 5 more. And I say, oh no, I'm done. 5 is enough. If you can't make it with even one of them, you get your own. So I don't charge for that. I just know in my head, if somebody looks like they belong with somebody, I put them with somebody else. And then if it works out, great. So then, after I wrote that book in 2003, I decided, well, I don't just see soulmate people. I see murderers, kidnappers, embezzlers, blackmailers, all kinds of other stuff. So I wrote The Diary of a Palm Reader, and this has 42 stories, but they're all different. And I don't know how some of them ended, because I read the person and I never heard from them again. And some of them let me know. So I get letters in the mail from people. And I got one the other day. I got an email from a girl who said, in 2001, I was getting out of high school. I came to your house with a friend. You read both of our palms, and you told me a lot of things, and you were so excited. You said you could see my wedding, which I could, right on her hand. She said, but you told me this might not be forever, and you were right. I got divorced. Then you told me my career would take me all over the United States, and I've had an incredible career, and I've moved in every state practically with my career. Then you told me when I meet the right one, it will be the right one for the rest of my life, and I'm there. And so that made me feel good, because that meant I predicted something clear back in 2001, and she remembered. And she said, I've kept your tape, and I've listened to it many times, and when I get down, I would listen to the tape, and it would lift me back up. So that made me feel good. So then I get letters from people who say, you told me so-and-so would be good for me, and we just got divorced. Well, I can't help. I don't control everything. Sometimes people get together, finish their karmic debt, and then they go on and they move on, and that's the end of it. Okay, so I'm wearing a bracelet here, and my friend Walt's in the back. Come on up here. And his wife has a booth called 169. That's the name of her number. And she will infuse a bracelet. This one's infused with abundance, and what else?
It's wealth, success, radiant health, spiritual protection.
Do you all hear that? A lot of stuff is in this bracelet. She charges $5 for them. She makes them right on the computer while you're sitting there. And I said to her, put on there soulmate specialist. She said, oh no, we don't do that. You have to have abundance and this, and this. So his wife does herbal stuff, right?
She does Hannah Kroger's work.
If anybody knows what that is, and she helps people that are ill or people that need, different things. So if any of you want to go visit him and his wife, they're at 169. So I'm wearing this because I said, okay, I'll talk about it in my soulmate thing. But to me, it says soulmate. She can put that on there.
The booth is called Holistic Dowser, if you can't find the number.
Okay.
And she can put whatever you want. She can specialize these. And if you find one of those 7 items about soulmates that Myrna was talking about, she can put it on there.
Or if you want your wedding ring, if you're married, she will do it right inside the wedding ring. She'll imprint them.
Yeah, any of the jewelry that you have.
Yeah, any jewelry, even a bracelet or anything, that's pretty neat. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, now I need that piece of paper that you want to get from me, and we'll pass that
I'm
out.
not sure I got the right one.
Oh, well, on my literature, you all can see the soulmate mark is that little thing. Okay, but in order to have a soulmate, you have to have a relationship, and it has to start with friendship. You bring that along, and then it's first you meet on a common ground. Then you become friends. Then you're dating. Then you're intimate. Then you live together. Then you get married. That could take a year. You can't marry somebody in 5 minutes. I don't know why I did what I did. My mother was hysterical. What do you mean you're living with someone? You're not even divorced. So he said he would pay, he said he would pay $100 a month rent on my spare room for 100 years if he had to. When I was ready, I'd let him know. So that meant he wasn't going anywhere, and he didn't. Okay, so this piece of paper we're going to pass out to everybody. And so the pyramid thing that we're talking about, we need to pass those
Okay.
all out. The little pyramid thing on the hand has to do with, it represents something. So after you all get this paper, I'll tell you. So while he's doing that, I will just tell you that my books are for sale. I'm proud of all 3 of them, and he's selling them in the back of the room. But besides that, I just wrote a 4th book, and it's a paranormal, and it's about a cruise ship and a mother and daughter who are dysfunctional. And the mother falls down the atrium steps and gets killed. And then she tries to contact the daughter from the other side, probably 15 different times. It scared me when I wrote it. I actually felt her hand touch my cheek, and I felt her breathing down my neck, and it was creepy. But I was glad I wrote it because I'm proud of it. And I think that's going to become a movie. So we'll see. But I never stop reaching. I never stop trying. So everybody have one of these now? Oh, they're coming. Okay. So if you look on this sheet of paper, we're going to read it from the bottom up. So the first thing a soulmate is communication. You have to be able to talk on every subject, and it has to be flowing and easy and back and forth between 2 people. So if a person is with you and you have to pull every word out of their mouth, it's not good. If they answer with yep, nope, and that's all, that's not a conversation. We're talking give and take. Then they have to look good with you. So I sent that picture around to my husband because we're not gorgeous people, but we look like a match set. Jill's met him, you know. We look like 2 round balls close to the ground. And so people say, oh, it's a bookend. Look at that. Well, we do look alike. Okay. Then you have to have spirituality. And to me, that means if somebody fell down out there, broke their leg, and they're laying on the floor screaming, you don't go, I didn't see that, I'll let somebody else get it. You'd run right over and say, can I help you? What can I do? Could I call 911 for you? Where's your family? Can we get you help? And that means you have heart, you're like God on the inside, you're not selfish, mean-spirited, you're giving for community, you're helping out. Then the sex is private and personal, but it has to be on the same page. So if a guy says, twice a year is good because I don't like it, and so I'll accommodate you, that's not very good. But if a guy goes 17 times a week would be nice, that's not very good either. It's supposed to be spontaneous, affection, when two people just get together and it works. Then on top is the higher power, which means not just religion and going to church, it means angels, guides, animal guides, whatever higher power you believe in is there. So if one person is an atheist and they go, there's no heaven, there's no hell, we live in hell now, and the other person goes, well, I believe in church and God, and what you have is two people that are opposing, and you're going to have arguing, and we don't want that. We want where it's the same. Okay, so now your turn. Come up here. So I want her to show her hand. Okay, so go and show. She's got a really good soulmate mark, but she has the ski track, and we haven't talked about that yet. So 1 in a million people marries their soulmate the first time. The ski track is a line like two little tracks going right down the hand, and you have that too. So he has both, and almost nobody gets both, and I don't know how he did that. But he's got the ski track and the soulmate mark and a double on top of it, which is like 1,000% means he's got to find a soulmate. I can't help it, that's on there. So I don't have either of those marks, so I can't show you my hand. But my husband has a soulmate mark this long, which means that is a soulmate. So my first husband died after 20 years, and I was a widow at 40. I didn't like that too much. And so I said, I'm never getting married again. I just want to have a social life. And I ended up getting married 2 years later to somebody who knew him. And that lasted 11 years. And I went, I don't believe in divorce. Now I do. And it took 2 years to get out of it. Then I met this one, and it was instantaneous. So 3 marriages when you think you're having one only for the rest of your life is pretty funny. Okay, so the thing is, there's days I want to throttle this husband. There's days I want to rip every hair out of his head because he's acting up or he's grouchy or he's whatever. And other days I love every hair on his head and I just want to hug him and just be happy with him every minute. So what that means is, it's normal because you have up, down, up, down. If everything was like this all the time, it would be pretty boring. So you want to have give and take, and you want to have where you get a bright idea and the next time they do. And so like he'll say, let's go for a ride up in the mountains and we'll take the dogs for the afternoon. And I go, okay. Then the next day I go, I'm sick to death of the couch we have. We need a new one. He'll go, well, I'll go shopping with you. Maybe we'll buy a coffee table too. So what is that? That's compromising. That's I'm giving, he's giving, we're doing. I didn't want to go in the mountains with the dogs, but he did, so I said, okay. He didn't want to go shopping in the worst way, because, thank you. He doesn't like shopping, and he especially hates furniture shopping, but I said okay, because he said okay. So the thing is, you help each other. So likes attract and opposites attract. So when opposites attract, it's exciting in the beginning, and then it starts slipping, slipping, slipping. And pretty soon it's out to here, and you go, what am I doing here? This isn't very good. Likes attract, and they go like this, and they just grow together. And growth is the most important thing in any relationship. If you don't grow, you're stagnant. And if you grow, it means the other person's cheering you on, you're cheering them on, and you're getting bigger together. Okay. So this little piece of paper that has this pyramid on it, I have that in my brain indelible, but the rest of you need to keep that, because those are the characteristics that a soulmate better have, and if they're missing one and they're not spiritual and they're mean-spirited, that's not a soulmate. Or if they don't talk much and you have to pull it out of them, that isn't it either, because it has to be an equal to you. Okay? Now, I'm going to see what else I can pull on people. I have a whole lot of stuff here, and sometimes I do them and sometimes I skip them. So there are people who put their dreams in a little box and they say, someday. And there's other people who say, I'm dreaming and I'm going to make it happen today. And I'm one of those. So you have to be optimistic. So you can discover your destiny through palmistry with me. And how you do that is first you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. You have to give love, but you have to not hate yourself or be aggravated or go, I'm not liking where I am today. If you don't like it, change it. Then you have to get past your critical who and what you want. So you tell yourself nobody is unaccountable, and sometimes nobody is unobtainable. Maybe you have your eyeball on somebody and it looks good and nothing's happening because you're in a yoga class with them or you're taking something with them and they want to be friends and they don't want it to go any further. You can't force it. You have to let it just be. So you have to be true to yourself and manifest the relationship that you need that lets your feelings flow through you. So there's a whole lot of stuff about love and romance, and a soulmate isn't just about the good parts of love. It's also, so my husband's having a hip removed on Tuesday. And that's a little bit scary because he had one already when he was 58. He almost died with that one. So I'm going to be there for him and I'm going to advocate for him. And if any nurses act up like they did last time, I'm going to go right to their supervisor again because I don't believe in letting things just happen. I'm going to be on station, on call, and I'm going to be his nurse. So that's only the day of surgery. After that, I won't be like that the whole time, but I'm going to watch. And you have to. So the last time when he was 58, he had the hip removed, and the second day, the cleaning man came in and had this big, long standard thing where they have the IVs and the blood, and he accidentally hit it with the broom, and all the blood was rolling out all over the floor. And I look at my husband, and he's getting whiter and whiter and whiter, and I run to the nurse, and I go, come quick, the blood's rolling all over the floor, the cleaning guy hit it, you gotta come right now. And she goes, we're in ICU. Most people in here are comatose. I don't have to. You know, even nurses get a coffee break. I'm having my piece of cake and coffee. I'll see them later. And I said, who is your supervisor? And I got real nasty because I thought he was dying, and he almost did. So she said, I'm the supervisor of this department. I said, thank you very much. Get me somebody above you right now. So she got somebody in there, and she got fired. Well, on the day he left the hospital, she came back, went to his room, and apologized. She said, I'm sorry that I had to have my coffee break, and now I don't have a job. Do you think you could put a good word in for me? And he let her know what he thought of that, but he was completely out of it when that happened. But I noticed that he was getting whiter than Joyce's shirt back there, and I look at my skin, and I looked at his, and I go, I know I'm tan, but he shouldn't be that white. And that's when I saw the blood all over the floor. So Tuesday, if all of you in here would just make a little prayer, you don't have to call me up or anything, just have good thoughts. Send prayers to him that he's going to come through this one like it's nothing, because the other one wasn't nothing. Okay, so that's what love does. The person is there for him. So true love means that you're there 100% of the time, not here today, gone tomorrow, maybe there. You're there all the time, the good and the bad. So we have good things. He got a wonderful recommendation where he works, and they wrote him a really nice thing, and I hung it right on our bulletin board because they said, you're a genius, we can't do this company without you, you're making everything go, and we're crazy about you. And he said, look what I got for Christmas. They just gave me this card. I said, oh, that's worth $1 million because he's retiring in December. He doesn't need anybody to give him a recommendation for work. What he needs is to stand tall and feel good about what he's doing. And he works in a medical company. So that's neat. So people don't always know what a relationship is. And what it is interacting two people. It's not two people, it's not a family. That's called a family relationship. When it's soulmates, it's you reacting and interacting with another person who's on the same wavelength you are so that you can go forward. So relationships are a mirror of yourself. And this is what's so important. I got myself in the third marriage. I got another me. So it's like hugging yourself. We love ourselves. But it's like hugging the other person, and we're hugging, it's juicy. It's the only word I can use for it. It's just good. So everybody wants that, everybody doesn't get it. So the greatest obstacle we each face in any relationship is fear. Fear of going out the door, trying to meet new people. So what I tell everybody when I do a reading, whether it's at my house or at a fair or wherever I am, I say, go try something new. Maybe you should go to a book signing or join a volleyball league or do whatever it is that you don't usually do because you have to shake up the energy. So if you always do the same thing, it's the same energy. But if you try something new, it's a little bit over here. It's a little different energy, and maybe you bring in what you're supposed to bring in. So in that bowling alley where I met this husband, I sat on his lap, I stole his baseball hat, because I like a full head of hair on a man, and I took it off to look. And he said, "What are you doing?" And I had to think real quick, and I threw it and said, "I'm playing keep-away." And he liked that, quick thinking on my feet, and he thought that was fun. So I'm drinking a water out of a thermos, but I had water in there. And he says, "What are you drinking?" And I said, "Vodka." And I was just being silly. And so he grabs it and takes a big swig, and he says, "Why, that's just water." And I said, "Well, I'm high as a kite, so I don't know what that's from, but it's making me dizzy. I have rubber legs." And so he got hysterical, laughing because I was joking. Well, joking is part of life. You can't be serious all the time. So if you love yourself and you get rid of the fear, there's nothing left. You just go out and find what you want. Now, we all have guardian angels, so I showed a few people in here how to do this, but I'm going to show you all. If you do this, your angels are around you, and you think in your mind, or you ask, and you go, "Guardian angels, where?" You don't need to do it, you got yours. Oh, okay, so you do this, and you say, "Guardian angels, where's my soulmate?" Or "Tell me where to go to get mine." Or "It's time for me now, I want one bad, where is it?" They just answer you. So you have to keep a pencil and paper next to your bed, in the bathroom, nobody usually has it in the bathroom, next to your phone, in the kitchen, on the car seat, not in your purse if you're a woman. It has to be right there so you can jot down right away, because you're going to start hearing. So if you ask, be careful what you ask for. But don't ask to win the lottery. Angels don't help you do that. But you just have to have it at about waist level right here, and you go wiggle, wiggle. So I only have one angel. Now, one person in here had 7 today. Was that you? No. Somebody has 7. Oh, Joyce has 7. Most people have 1 or 2. Some people have 4. It doesn't matter how many you have as long as they're working for you. And I only have 1, and mine's my mother. So when I'm doing a reading at my table or in my room at home, if I don't tell the truth because I'm holding back, the light starts flickering on, off, on, off. If I still don't tell the truth, the overhead light starts flickering. And sometimes I get couples and they're fighting, and I'm trying to help them straighten up their life, and I don't say everything. And they go, "Is there something wrong with your electrical system? Your lights are all flickering." I go, "Oh no, it's nothing." And if I still don't, something in the kitchen hits the floor. So what that means is my mother is making me toe the line. She wants me to help people, but she wants me to tell the truth and not hold back. So when a couple's fighting and they're sitting in front of me right here, I don't want to say he's cheating on you or she's doing whatever she's doing. I just keep it to myself. The next morning, the woman will call me and say, "So what did you see that you didn't say?" Because women are intuitive. We know when I'm holding back. And the men, over their head, they don't get it. So the thing is, I tell the truth. But I also listen. And a lot of people have a lot of stuff they want to tell me. And so I do an hour reading in the house, and they usually run an hour and a half, because I can't say to somebody, "Get out of my chair." I might have somebody else coming. Even if I do, they're waiting in the living room. I put a sign on my front door, "Just come on in. I'll see you in a little bit. I'm busy." And so I come out, and sometimes my living room looks like a doctor's waiting room. And there might be 3 people waiting in there, and I didn't know it because I don't hear the door. When I'm in my zone, I'm working, and I'm not looking around and listening. I'm just doing what's right in front of me. So I try not to do more than 4 people a day because it's a little exhausting. Here we're doing 20-minute readings. It's a little exhausting, but it's not bad because I like it and I get high on that. I like when I meet new people and it's interesting. So, does anybody have any questions about soulmate? Nobody has a question? Well, we all have them, and it depends. Okay.
Does it matter if you're looking at people
Right.
with mostly right hands?
If you're right-handed, you're going to look on your right hand. If you're left-handed, you look on your left hand. And so I'm going to play a little game right now. I want everybody to take their hands, fold them up for me in front of me. Now, is anybody, if you have your left thumb, is there anybody in here left-handed? Just yell yes if there is.
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay. Are your left thumbs up on top if you're left-handed? No? Well, I'm right-handed. My left thumb came on top, so that means I got switched in the crib. My mother made me right-handed. Any lefty whose right thumb came up is very independent and made themselves left-handed. Okay, anybody here right on top and they're right-handed? Yell it out.
Yes.
You're all normal. Now I want everybody to switch and put whatever thumb you had on before, undo them completely. Now put your fingers together and put the other thumb on top. Does that feel weird or uncomfortable or peculiar? If anybody likes it, it's a fib. Because your brain likes what it likes and it puts on the top whatever one it wants to go up there. And I could do that 500 times in a row and it's going to be left every time. So a lefty who's now a righty makes a little more mistakes than ones of you who are normal who do righty-righty. So your right thumb came up, you're right-handed, that's good. You have one little voice in your head and it goes na-na-na-na-na, and I have two. So I have na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, and I don't know which one's the right one, and I make mistakes. I don't know who to listen to. And sometimes I listen to the wrong one. So you guys are all lucky because the ones who are righty-righty has directions to my house, they get there on time. The ones who's a lefty-righty call up and go, I made a little wrong turn. I might be about 10 minutes late, and that's why. You're late because you went the way the other voice told you to go. Okay, so it's fun to have parlor games, and that's sort of what this is, sort of just playing. But it's also important because it's fun to do it. So now the next thing we do, and since we don't have tables here, I want everybody who's right-handed is going to do the right hand. Everybody who's left-handed, shake your hand about 5 or 6 times, slap your knee. And wherever your fingers land is what I'm going to run and look at. You got a perfect one here. I have one issue. Yours is good. Yours is perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Anybody land with their fingers all glued together? Just yell it out. Is there anybody here? I know there can't be. You wouldn't be in my lecture because that's a nerd. They come when you slam it. They all are. So there's no nerds here because nerds wouldn't come to something like that. Okay. If anybody does it and the first finger here goes way out like that, that's an ego. And nobody here has that either.
Yeah.
No. That's him. Okay. Then on top of that, this is a schizophrenic, means a split personality. So if anybody does that, I do something really weird, so I'm just going to show you on here. If I do this, we get a type A. And you could tell I'm a type A from standing up here. Most people, it's flat when they slap it down and mine goes up. So fingers mean something, but the space between them means something to me. So on the diagram that I gave you, the little hand has skinny space. And almost nobody does that, except you did a perfect one. So once in a while I get a perfect one. Today I only had one perfect one. She got it in the middle here. And her fingers all landed exactly like the diagram. Because usually if you have an issue in your head, it's going to be glued up somewhere. Some people have 2 issues. They don't have a relationship and they hate their job. That's 2 issues. Or they had a fight with their mother and they're going to move. And that's 2 issues. So when they're glued near the top here, that means you have problems that you're trying to work out. So you're going da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, and you're back and forth with yourself till you get it, okay? So I don't have any of those issues because mine came out all nice and big today when I did it, but some days it doesn't. So I guarantee you Tuesday they're going to be glued together, and I'm going to be shaken when I'm waiting for the doctor to come and tell me how that went, how the surgery went. But that's because that's who I am. So the rest of you have to work on your personalities a little bit. You have to change. Change is good. It's what makes the world go around. If things aren't working for you now, make them work. And how you make it work is by getting a little better or changing yourself from where you are. Somebody getting a phone call. You change yourself from where you are to another point of view. You focus on you. And you go, let's see, I've been wearing my hair the same style for 15 years. I think I'll change it. So you go to the beauty shop, this is a girl, and you say, surprise me. And it comes out real short and you don't like it. Now you made a mistake and you have to wait for it to grow out. There's nothing you can do about it. Some people don't ever change, and some people change all the time. They get bored and they want change. Change is what's good. So you can't be the same in the same mode all the time. You want to try and move like this, moving around, moving around. So sometimes I wear the same nightgown for a whole week, and sometimes I wear a different one every night. And my husband goes, "What's going on? Last night was a black one, tonight's this one." And I say, "I don't know, I just felt like change." Well, that's one little subtle change. You could also, you know how the dentist teaches us, brush your teeth up and down, up and down? Well, once in a while I brush mine the wrong way, just for fun. Why? Because that's change. It changes the energy. So everything in this world is energy, even in your mouth, and you can do that just one time. Okay, sometimes I go to the same gas station for 6 months, and then all of a sudden I pick a new one. Why? I don't know why, I just did it. And so that means I'm shaking up the energy outside of my car, everywhere else, and I'm trying new things. And new is what the whole key is about. You want to try new things. So some people try a networking group and it doesn't work out. They don't meet anybody, or they don't get any important anything out of it, and they go, "Well, I'm never going back there." So if you do, nothing ventured, nothing gained. You try it. Some people go to a book club and they don't like the book that you have to read for that club, so they never go back. But the next month might have been a really good one that you were missing because you didn't keep on trying. So I tell people you can meet people a lot of different ways. So I told them what to do. I told Jill what to do. I didn't know it was going to be a Jill and Phil, but you could have been Jack and Jill. But anyway, so that just was on her hand, and it was sticking out like a sore thumb. I couldn't miss it. I saw it. Sometimes I don't see it, or sometimes I can't see a person's past lives, and other times I get 3 of them right off the bat. It depends on how in tune or how psychic you are at that moment. So sometimes I'm really on, and I get it 100%, and I say I get 90 to 95%. Because I'm not perfect, and I never got it 100%. But sometimes I do come pretty close, and I'll go, "I got you," and that's good because I can tell when I did Evie Hudak, who is she's a councilwoman or she's a senator or something, and I did a party at somebody's house, and she sat down, and I said, "So you work in government?" She says, "Yes, I do." And her daughter didn't tell me who she was, and it turned out I got it. So she says, "How did you know I work in government?" I said, "I don't know, but it's on your hand." So hands are like, each hand is a story. So my mother, who died when she was 89, 11 years ago, said to me, "Aren't you bored yet? Don't you get bored with palm reading?" I said, "How could you get bored? Every hand is a whole different story, and it's juice. It's all fun stuff." Well, I don't always get a fun one. Last time I did a fair here, a guy came to me, sat down, and he said, "Could you do my reading really fast?" And I said, "Why? They're 20 minutes each. I'm not going to cheat you. I'm doing 20 minutes. "Oh, you don't understand." And I said, "What don't I understand?" "The mothership circling the building. It wants to take me to my new planet." So I went, "Uh-oh, Looney Tunes." But I gave him his reading, and then he got up and walked away. Well, I'm not crazy about those kind. So I went in the restroom and I did this, and I got it off of me, because the next person would have got a bad reading from that, and I had to get his stuff away from me, so I was fresh for the next one. So if you're all happy with what you heard, and I have nothing else to say, I'm going to say thank you very much for coming, and I hope you all find something. Beautiful.
When you get a chance, I wanted to ask you
Oh, that's
my
right.
music.